Hello and very happy to see you on my channel tonight. This video, we give you a piece of breaking news. Piers Morgan blasted pampered little Duke Harry on today's edition of Good Morning Britain makes him vomit following the comments the Duke of Sussex made in a podcast where he seemed to suggest the UK media were exaggerating their reporting of the coronavirus pandemic. Piers Morgan was back on hand to host Good Morning Britain today alongside co-host Susanna Reid, and the pair were joined by a panel of journalists to discuss the day's headlines. Amongst the topics was the latest news emerging about Prince Harry and his wife, Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, as the next stage of their legal battle with the British tabloid press begins. However, the presenter was enraged by a discussion of the royal couple, especially after the Duke made comments about the media's response to the coronavirus pandemic sweeping the globe. This week sees the royal couple's legal battle with the Mail on Sunday over the publication of the Duchess' private correspondence with her father Thomas Markle continue, as the High Court will hold a hearing on the case remotely due to the current health crisis. In light of this, Harry and Meghan have written to the editors of the 4 tabloid press publications and explained they will no longer cooperate with their requests to speak with them. However, their row with the media has been exacerbated after the Duke said in an interview with Declassified podcast the COVID-19 crisis was better than the media were making it out to be. Reacting to these developments, Piers voiced his views on the matter this morning and didn't hold back. As a debate unfolded, the host exclaimed if he ever spoke with the Duke he would take the opportunity to remind him, the world is in a war at the moment with a killer virus that is destroying lives. Piers raged, and what was Harry's contribution to this debate other than making it all about him again? It was actually to do this in a podcast to claim that we are all exaggerating this war. He added before the comments were played out for viewers. The brass neck of this guy, who ditched his country, now lives in a Malibu mansion, that I don't think he even pays for, lecturing us that we are exaggerating a war. When we have had deaths of 80 healthcare workers. We are showing people the reality of this, and we're not reliant on a pampered little Duke in his Malibu mansion. The host then held up an article from a newspaper where the pictures of all the health workers who have tragically lost their lives on the front lines were printed. Hitting back at Harry's comments, Piers said, "Thank God the British media is showing the reality of this. I'm sorry to use tough language, but the bottom line is I don't want to hear from these two during this war. Making it about their little hurt feelings. OISNT my life awful in my Malibu mansion. Shut up, seriously." Susanna tried to jump to the royal couple's defense, to which her co-host asked why she was trying to excuse their timing of writing to the editors of the tabloid press. Piers was angered when co-host Susanna Reid started to defend the pair, much like she had earlier backed Victoria Beckham over furloughing her staff. Piers cried, "Why do you excuse them? You heard what he said. We are exaggerating it. This coronavirus crisis according to Prince Harry in his Malibu mansion is not as bad." Baffled, Piers then asked the Daily Mirror's associate editor Kevin Maguire if he had gone mad after hearing Susanna's defense of the couple. Admitting the Sussexes make him want to vomit, Piers pointed out that the Queen, Prince William, and Kate Middleton had all been exemplary. The Cambridges, unlike the Sussexes, are living, seeing, breathing it, added Piers. No one care about squabble with her dad. No one seems to have told these two in their mansion in Malibu that no one cares. We care about health care workers. We don't care that she hates her dad. There's something a million times more important happening. Royal correspondent for ITV, Chris Shipp, agreed with Piers' view about the comments, explaining the media as giving people the information on the virus. However, he added the timing of their letters to the editors was due to the next stage of their High Court battle with the Mail on Sunday commencing this week. Piers still vented his fury, telling his colleagues, that was the old world, stating coronavirus was something a million times more important. Piers previously hit out at these comments, taking to Twitter where he wrote, "Prince Harry, from his Hollywood mansion, accusing the media of exaggerating the scale of this crisis in Britain is contemptible." Again, the host reiterated the media was reflecting the reality of the virus and the tragic consequences of COVID-19 on those fighting on the front line. "I agree with Piers, it's underreported. Far worse than people suspect. Harry continues to embarrass himself, spouting his gormless feel-good platitudes. It's a foolish comment. People are dying of underlying health conditions they might have lived into their 80s with if COVID hadn't seen them off. Look at the photos of health workers who have died and think again. Harry Markle is losing credibility by the hour. He's obsessed with the media, and if they're not chasing after him, which he says he hates, then he's chasing after them. This guy seems to have been a complete phony, and we are now seeing the real whinging boy he's always been. It will only get worse, now he's in California, the center of New Age drivel. Harry became besotted with Meghan Markle. Well, they say that love is blind. What he has to realize is the people of the UK don't see her through rose-colored spectacles. They see the real Meghan. He's been persuaded by her to go back to her homeland. It's all about what she wants. Don't blame the press, Harry, open your eyes. Meanwhile, a royal fan also slammed Harry. The first wrote, "It appears that Harry's isolation from all he knows has made him lose perspective, and the second-hand views feeding his utterances about the UK are sounding more patronizing than supportive. He's made it abundantly clear he likes neither the country of his birth, nor the people who once held him in high regard, so he should quietly slink away and concentrate on making his millions by exploiting those in the country of his choice, not those he's left behind." Well, cope. And what are your qualifications? Unless you are there on the front line dealing directly with the sick, dying and/or burying the dead bodies, you are in no position to propagate that lockdown is not working. This is not just a UK problem, it is a global pandemic. Countries such as New Zealand and Australia are in lockdown, and it has avoided a death toll that the USA and the UK are dealing with. He probably does not have the intelligence to know why he is right, but by pure chance, on this occasion, he is probably right, but he does not know why. Meanwhile, Meghan and Harry also were slammed for expert claims couples dancing with locals during tour of South Africa convinced fans they weren't going to be high-glamour royals and were down to earth. According to Christine Ross, the editor of the Meghan's Mirror blog, the turning point came when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were seen dancing and laughing with locals as they visited a Justice Desk initiative in Nyenga Township during their royal tour of South Africa on September 23, 2019 in Cape Town. What a load of nonsense out of the editor of the Meghan's Mirror blog. Rather than the dancing day in Africa being their turning point, it was more like the night that absurd, whiny interview with Smug and Mug about their trials, tribulations, hardships and the terribly hard life they have aired for public viewing. That was the tipping point for everyone, and most especially for the British royal family in regards to this very unroyal gruesome twosome. At the beginning, she wanted to be Diana, and when people didn't fall for her manipulations and deception. Then, now she tries to be Mother Teresa by trying to deceive a new base. Thinking to deliver few packages makes her an angle. She missed it again. She has to stop acting nice and just be truly nice for once without cameras around. A fan thinks that, wanted to be down to earth by dancing with people who had made the effort to turn up and see them because they were royal visitors. Are these two so dense they can't see the hypocrisy of their chosen path, statements and PR garnering codswallop? They'll be a proper rumpus when the penny finally drops, and not before time. The most outrageous part of all this saga is that she is a British Duchess, but never became a British citizen, or ever wanted the role, just the title. I want Harry and her stripped of their titles so they can live like normal private people, but they absolutely don't want that, do they? They don't want to be ordinary, and they have fought tooth and nail to make sure they keep their HRH in position. Another added, down to earth. What? Private jets, million-dollar houses. If they were down to earth they would be selfless royals, not self-centered celebrities seeking narcissists. The Sussex royal trademarks were lodged in June 2019. The decision was obviously far enough along by then to have some details worked out. By September they had already emotionally left, it was a smokescreen. If an expert doesn't see that, then they're not. What rubbish. There are pictures of Charles dancing with locals in many different countries. You can be royal and down to earth, they are not two mutually exclusive things. The trouble is Meghan wants to be royal all the time and in charge of her own kingdom, not a junior in someone else. She saw the dollar signs, the mansion, the nanny, the bodyguards, the press coverage, the celebrity lifestyle, and most of all what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. She likes to be the boss, not being told what to do, as in the royal family. Ordinary is the last thing she wants to be. And more comment I can't give you now. But you can also leave a comment for me below to talk about your opinion for everyone. And if you see my video so useful, please like and share it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get more news from the royal family. Now, goodbye and see you in the next videos.